Are you gonna watch Frankenstein before we decide to read it, or
No, yes, I do want to watch it before. I
okay?
probably will watch it because it's there. I already told AJ about it. He was like, I want to watch it. And apparently he's read all the books. I'm like, when did you start reading? Like, but he said he's read it like so long ago. Um, so he was
So
like, yeah, he wants to watch
the
it.
reason I ask is because it is different. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there were bits and pieces that I had to Google. And there's a lot of uproar about what people have to say,
Mm-hmm.
like people's critiques about it. But I don't know how to say what is his name? Gilmaro? Is that how you say his name?
Is it Gilmore? Gilmaro? Yeah, Gilmaro. Yeah.
Gilmaro Del I said to
Two of
mommy, I was like
us.
Del Taco. Because because I'm ignorant. Um, but he is did you watch Pan's Labyrinth by him? Have you ever seen that one?
Mm-mm, I don't think so.
Bro, I know you
No,
don't really like scary stuff. So
I'm
his
trying.
his work is very like he leans a lot more towards horror than he does not, especially in his adult work. So he does have a YA series that he did. I don't think he wrote the books, but he produced the Netflix series called Troll Hunters. When I tell you a time, I
Mm-hmm.
love that show. And it's like different series. So there's like a another one that is like aliens that come to this same
Mm-hmm.
world. And then there are the troll hunters, and this human becomes a troll hunter. It's you have to watch that. Like I know AJ was trying
Troll
to get you
Hunter.
into anime. You have to watch Troll Hunters. That's the easiest like Del Toro work that you could probably like get into to really see how artistic he is. But I think I
Maybe
mentioned this.
his
What were you gonna say?
maybe his name's Guillermo. Guillermo.
Guillermo. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it looks like. Yeah, no, it is Guillermo. Yeah, because I
Guillermo.
know Guillermo
Okay.
we're looking at. Sorry, that.
My bad, uncle, because I really love your work. But when I was a kid, my parents didn't really like regulate what I was able to watch. Like
Mm.
they just let me watch it. Which double-edged sword that we could talk about it another time because I do wish that
It
I
was the
was
opposite. It was the opposite for me.
like I do think
Yeah.
in some areas they should have been very structured, but with things like Pan's Labyrinth, it's one of those movies that borders the line of like it's a movie but it's also art kind of thing. But there's the
Mm.
story is about a little girl and these fairies and
Mm-hmm.
she's trying to I forget like the full premise, but the fairies tell her like she's supposed to be looking for this key or this missing piece or whatever. And she goes into
Mm-hmm.
this room and the fairies tell her don't eat nothing off this table because that thing is going to get up and he going to be
Mm-hmm.
pissed and we going to have to squeeze you through that tiny ass door and we're gonna have problems, okay? And what that little girl do, because it was a full spread too. She not
She gonna
wrong.
do
I
it.
also as well would have tried to slip
Mm-hmm.
me a little snack. And baby, that man that was sitting at the table, he ain't had no eyes in his head, but he was like moving his head around and he picked his eyeballs up and put them in his hands and did like this here and was chasing that heifer around. And I said, oh, that man needs therapy. He's not okay. And there are
Mm-mm.
you can see how that like creepiness has evolved, right? Like how
Mm-hmm.
it's like you can see how he's gotten better, right? As a producer, as a
Mm-hmm.
director. So everybody knows that people have also been talking about like y'all are telling Frankenstein spoilers. Baby, the book been out since 1818. How are we spoiling anything?
Yeah, I was
You
about
know,
to say, like, but I think, people, when they see stuff on social media, if they haven't seen nothing, they think it's just really new. They don't think things exist beyond what is there.
but I'm like Frankenstein, how many variations of Frankenstein have we gotten, right?
Yeah.
So Victor Frankenstein goes into wanting to tackle death. I know because of the death of his mother. But there is a scene in this Frankenstein where he has figured out how to get life back into a partial body. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like a torso, a arm like put together and like half of a head. Am I gonna sneeze? Don't sneeze.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in this room and he's like, I have done the things and I can blase, blase, blah. And all these white men in
Mm-hmm.
them wigs, you know, they used to sit in the courts and wear them ugly ass wigs. That was
Yeah.
the original shake and go. Okay. And friend, when I tell you he snatched the blanket off of this thing and it got to twitching, and I said, you know, I'm gonna turn this television off. Because what all in
Mm-hmm.
the hell is that? And what is going on in Mr. Del Toro's head that he thought that that was okay? But I will say he has some of my characters from Game of Thrones. Now the one,
Mm. Oh, you were telling me about that. Yes.
right now, Walder
Mm-hmm.
Frey. Okay, now this is real spoilers in case none of y'all ain't watched Game of Thrones and you plan to watch all 17 seasons eventually. Skip forward. Walder Frey. Last time I seen him, he was dead. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm laying in here, and you know I'd be multitasking, so I was like scrolling on my phone, and I
Mm-hmm.
all but broke my neck. I said, "Where in the hell did they get Walter Frey from? He dead. He's supposed to be dead. Kill him again while we here, because I don't appreciate what he. I'm still traumatized. Okay, from the goddamn
Mm-hmm.
Red Wing. Kill him." But he's actually playing a decent character in this in
Mm.
Frankenstein, which was very
Okay.
weird. And Tywin Lannister is in. He ain't shit in this one either. You know what he do good is he play ancient daddy very very well
That's
because
probably why
he
they hired
also
him. Mm-hmm.
was in what's that other one that I told you to watch? The Sandman.
Uh, the Sandman, yes.
He played the daddy in the Sandman too. I was like, I know they have very distinct voices. I could look somebody
Mm.
in their face and never remember their face. I'm always gonna remember the sound of somebody's voice.
Mm. Yeah.
So that
I
too,
know
I was like,
actors that have been in the game for a long time, their voice is also very distinctive how they've trained it. I don't know
yes.
what it is like. It's just something.
So I thought that was very cool. But just how the whole setup is, like how we actually meet Victor
Mm,
Frankenstein and then Frankenstein, like it looks very pretty. Jacob Elordi is Frankenstein. That
mm,
I feel like such a proud auntie because he is from seeing him in Euphoria to now
mm.
seeing him as Frankenstein, like,
You watched Euphoria?
oh, real bad.
Mm.
I was just telling Sarah about it because you know Sarah doesn't really watch TV,
Yeah, yeah.
and
She really doesn't.
she doesn't watch
Yeah.
TV.
She
And I
don't
was like,
watch
I
TV,
feel
yeah.
like that's one of those things that I think she would enjoy. Like Sarah would be able to pull the literature out of Euphoria
Mm-hmm.
in ways that probably other people aren't necessarily paying attention to. But I was telling
Mm-hmm.
her about the scene where Sydney Sweeney Sydney Sweeney's character gets caught that she's been sleeping with her best friend's man, which is
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Elordi's character. And
Mm-hmm.
but she was like getting out of the hot tub drunk and she was throwing up. And she was like, I'm so sorry. That
Oh
shit was
my.
fucking hilarious to me because it just was so awkward. Like teenagers. Like it was so like, you know, her friend is
It's
like,
regular. It's like normal teenage stuff. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but it's so like intense. Or the scene
yeah.
where
Mm.
Zendaya's character was trying to get out of another drug intervention and was like, "Well, she fucking with your man," and everybody get to start fighting, and she slip out the door like, "Bitch, come back in here, get in here,
Oh
you
my
little
God.
heifer." Okay, it's a very. I feel like it's one of those shows that's like it's gonna go down in history because it's
Mhm.
these very young actors and actresses playing these very big roles, like these intense roles.
Mhm.
It's Euphoria was a good time. I was very against watching it at first because I was just like, I don't want to see teens hunching. Like
Yeah.
I don't want like no.
That-
But
Excuse me. That's why I wasn't really interested because I was like, yeah.
nah, it's good. Or the scene where so like the guy who plays why can't I think of his name right now, but he was McSteamy from Grays.
Uh,
He's in
yeah.
Euphoria.
He is.
And
Oh yeah, he is. He has
he's the dad.
not Parkinson's. He
Right.
has one of the
I want to
diseases and
say
he's going
MS, but
downhill.
it's not MS either. It's
Not Lou Gehrig's, not dementia.
It's one of those like autoimmune.
It's bad. I just know
Yeah,
because they gave an update
lumpen.
about him. Yeah. Hold on. It's gonna bother me. Make steamy.
I can see it in your face. Your forehead got all, you
It's
balled your face up. You was like, because I know what I know he's sick now.
yeah, I just know it. ALS. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
he's in Euphoria, and he when they like kind of reveal his villain arc and all this other stuff, and his family finds
Mm-hmm.
out, he comes home drunk and he's peeing in the foyer, like just on the floor,
Oh.
peeing on the floor. Friend, when I tell you it is the funniest shit, and then he's looking up at his sons like, "Well, I seen what kind of porn you hide on your computer, so ain't no need for you to be judging me, goddamn it." And he looked at the other one and was like, "And you evil bitch." Like it's such a like it's so well filmed, like it's so beautiful, but it's such like regular,
It's regular
like
stuff. Mm-hmm.
yeah, like it's covering these very intense topics, but also it's just
Mm-hmm.
like filmed in this very matter of fact kind of way. So
It's coming back next year?
yeah,
Is
because I
it?
believe they're starting promo for it.
Yeah. And is he in it? Because I know he has, if he has ALS, like, how
I
is
don't
that?
know. I know that they were filming over this year, so I don't know if they maybe already filmed his bits and he will be in this
Yeah.
season or what.
It's
Hopefully he
sad.
is. Hopefully he can work up until, you know,
Yeah, I think that's what they were saying. He just started to deteriorate more. That's sad, man.
it really is. But look, that means I'm gonna eat good next year because Euphoria is coming back. We're getting two Game of Thrones spin-offs. So House of the Dragon is coming back,
Oh
and we're
yeah.
getting the Duncan Egg story.
Dunkin'
So
Egg.
Duncan Egg, they're a it's another like prequel thing, but it's a knight and
Hmm.
this kid that kind of like go on this journey. It's not called Duncan Egg, but that's what the story is about.
Hmm.
Um so I think it's like he's the ancestor of I'm saying this like you've watched the show and you know what the hell I'm talking about. But he's the ancestor of Brienne of Tarth. You know the
I
real
dropped
tall
off.
lady?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I dropped off
Brienne of
around
Tarth.
season 3 or 4.
Okay, so then you know who Brienne is. Because
Yeah.
she's the one that they had kidnapped her and Jamie Lannister at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
So,
do want to give it another try, man.
oh, you absolutely should. It's a fantastic show.
It's just the gore is what kills. It's really what stops me, man. That gore is, it's a
You just gotta
lot
grow
for
up,
my.
friend. I understand, but you just gotta grow up because it's a part of the show. Yeah, it's absolutely worth it, and it's one of those things where season one is for lack of better words, let's talk literature. Season one is the prologue. Season one is setting up everything for you.
Yeah.
It's setting up everything, and then episode nine comes, and you like, what the fuck? And then it
Mm-hmm.
just goes from there. And then every season, episode nine, brace yourself.
All right, I'll try again. I think I'll do that over because I'm so happy I'm gonna be at my reading goal so soon. Praise God. Because it was a struggle, but I'm making it literally towards the end of the month. I'm so happy because I'll have a free month of just doing whatever I want to do.
Oh, it's
Maybe
lit.
even sooner than that, actually.
It's lit.
It's great. So maybe I probably go over 80. I'll probably go to like 85, maybe 90
Okay.
because we're grooving and stuff like that. But okay, I'm gonna try
Well,
again with Game
guys,
of Thrones. Yeah. Hi guys.
this is Shelby,
And this is Jess.
and welcome back to the League of Extraordinary Readers. How are you, friend? How was your week?
Chill. Pretty chill. What did I do this week? No, I bought my turkey early.
Yes, because
Um,
you're a real adult, and here I am. I'm like, I think I'm gonna just make us a pot of soup
and I don't blame you because
because
it's a lot of work to be cooking all this food and it's expensive.
word. And then mom
And
said
yeah.
when I mentioned to her the soup, she was like, "Ooh, that sounds good." But then she was like, "You could just throw some turkey wings in the oven." So I'm like, I could do that.
That too. Yeah.
And like a small pan of mac and cheese, a small pan of stuffing. And I think I told you mommy makes broccoli cornbread. Um
Oh, I've never heard of
I
that.
will send you the recipe. The recipe sounds really weird because there's no like
Oh,
liquid in it, but you need like a box of cornbread, frozen chopped up broccoli, cottage cheese. That
oh.
is the one that's not so chunky with all the curds, and
Mm,
butter and some eggs. And it
interesting.
sounds very like grandma used to make it, and my mom is not a vegetable person.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds weird. Like who wants broccoli and cornbread? And then you like
Yeah.
you see the ingredients and you like, is this even gonna come out right, friend? Everybody that I've ever had
Hmm.
try it be like, even people that are not fans of cornbread or bread in general, be like, bruh,
Hmm.
when your mama making some more broccoli cornbread and slide me a couple pieces. So
No,
I'll
I've
definitely be
never
making that.
heard that. Yeah,
And
no,
it's
that sounds
I'll send
interesting.
you the recipe. It's very easy to make. Like it's not hard. And you just
Mm-hmm.
you bake it a little bit longer because it is so dense. So you want it to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that it bakes through. It's fantastic left over. Like it's a
Mm.
cornbread that you want to put in the refrigerator because it
Okay.
has so much in it. But like when you go to heat it up, I put it in the air fryer so that it'll get like crispy and a little crunchy the
All the
day after.
sides. Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
time, girl. And it's like a little sweet in places too. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a good time.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, send that to me because now I'm curious because that could be really cool with like chili or something
Yes.
like that. Because I already have my heart set on making a sweet potato cornbread
Oh,
for
yes.
Thanksgiving. So I kind of already got that in my head. But
Broccoli cornbread would
chili,
be good with chili. I never even considered that.
I feel like that.
It's always been a Thanksgiving type thing. Like that's usually the only type
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa sort of thing.
Mm.
We never really
Yeah.
make it outside of then. But now that you're saying that, I'm gonna make a big enough pan so that
Yeah, I think it would be pretty
so
like if
that
you
I
get
can make
like
us some chili and
I'm
some
about to
broccoli
do
cornbread.
it.
That's gonna be a time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went to buy my turkey. I tried to go to World Market to do their like annual. They have like this thing where you can hunt around the store for gift cards if you look for their little item of the day. So when I went, it was a nutcracker, but I didn't go early enough. I went like an hour or two after. I didn't know you had to be there. It was like immediately when they opened, but they do
Okay.
it 2 times a day. So when they open it at 4 o'clock. So I'm gonna go again this weekend and try again. But I tried there. I was looking at decor, um, Christmas decorations. What else did I do? I just read. That's it. I just been reading. Um, I'll tell you what I read. Give me one moment.
You said Christmas decorations. Did I tell you that my mother was trying to throw away the Christmas ornaments that we've had since I was a child?
Why was she
And
trying to throw
I
them away?
because the last few years we've been using like the newer ornaments. We found like orange ornaments and things
Oh.
like that. So we don't use like the older ones anymore. But I've always wanted to keep them because like I passed them down through the generation. They're cute. They're like super, super tiny,
Mm-hmm.
but they're all like black little angels and like all of this stuff. You should have seen the way I was like, oh, my childhood.
Why would she do that?
And she was like, I put them back in the closet. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. But that's crazy.
So now I got to
Um,
watch her because don't be
she
trying to
might
throw my
try to
childhood in garbage.
no, she might try to get rid of it. Okay, so what have I read? So I'm reading The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. That is really good.
Okay.
You would really enjoy it. I can already see it for you.
Okay.
It actually is, once you start it, it technically isn't that intimidating because the story is that good. Honore
Okay.
got me locked in with these characters from the jump.
Should I immersive read it?
Yes, that's what I'm doing. It helps so much. Because it went from, bless you, it went
Thank you.
from 22 hours. I think, bless you.
Thank you.
So I got 17 more hours. I feel like in my head, when it says 17 more hours, I could do that within 2 days, technically. And the story is that good.
Okay, so then here's what I'll do. That'll be what I read after I read the Water Bearers.
Yeah, I think the
The Water Bearers will
is
be
yeah, it's good. It's a good time. Like I'm laughing. I'm like, what is happening? Like these characters, and it's a good immersive read because um the there's multiple characters and then there's multiple people acting out the characters, which makes it very interesting. The history it
because of
jumps
age.
age, yes.
Okay.
Because like, well, yeah, it's because of age because like where we start is from the past, of course, and then we jump to the 80s. And that's where we're at now. So I'm not sure if it's gonna jump again to like it's jumping back and forth between the past and then the 80s. And so like I'm not sure if it's gonna do another jump until like into the 2000s, but so far that's where I'm at. Um and the doing it as a buddy read or whatever is also helpful. But honestly, if I didn't have the schedule, if I just mapped it out myself, I can just share you the schedule that she made. It
Okay.
literally is, if you read 100 and some odd pages each week, you can be done within like December.
Oh, okay. But if
And
it
that's where
reads
I'm
fast,
at.
I'm not gonna want to put it down. So
I'm like, I literally kind of just want to focus on it. Like, I was gonna start I was supposed to start the wilderness, but I didn't. But I want to start the wilderness because I'm gonna miss out on my library hold. So I don't want to like, and I want to finish that too. But this is kind of holding my attention a lot more because I want to know what
okay.
happens next because there's so much. And like annotating it is fun because there's so much
Okay.
like going on. Um, I feel like I'm not sure if Sarah has, I'm gonna text in our chat. I'm not sure if Sarah has read it, but she would have a time with this book, like a
Okay.
good old time. So I definitely think you should read it soon. It's a
Okay.
lot. It's a lot, but it's really great. It's holding my attention. Um, what else did I read? Cursed Daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed that a lot. I think there is so much to discuss, especially from the folklore as spiritual-esque realm. You can go from there to the overall male-centeredness that all of these women have around keeping a man in this curse, even keeping those secrets at the end of the day to keep a man of some sort and the yearning to keep a man there's so much to go into it about it. I think it is an excellent this is actually a really great book club read for folks um because there's so much to dive into like
Okay.
from the main character you where are you at in the book because I know you've
I just
been
got to the babies, where we're present day, I think.
oh the babies. Oh,
Yeah,
the
what's her name?
babies.
Annie? Annie?
And
Not the
yeah.
babies like multiple babies, the like possessive, the babies
Oh,
section.
yes. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's like, oh.
Because I can't remember how to pronounce her name. So I'm present day. And I didn't get a
Mm.
chance to start reading that because I've been sick as fuck. So
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
that'll be tomorrow night because tomorrow I need to read Kevin Sage's book.
Yeah, I need to do wait. Oh, tomorrow night. I was like, you gonna read that tomorrow night? What were we talking about that tomorrow?
Well, yeah, I'll
Um,
read that during the day. I'll read Cursed Daughters
okay. Okay,
tomorrow night.
gotcha. Sango, I was trying to figure out how in my arc, I see Sango from the time of the story from the beginning. I have it
Yeah,
outlined.
no, it was
I
there were
wonder,
I think I just got it's an arc. I wasn't
I have an arc too.
Yeah, but like
Maybe
there have
your
been
arc.
right.
Yeah.
I've gotten arcs before that
Yeah.
were like very, very different. I wasn't stressed about it, but I was like, I
What
don't
is
remember
happening
this.
here? Yeah. The symbolism of Sango, I'm
Shango.
curious, is it Shango or Sango?
It's Shango, but it's
Okay.
spelled without
Oh, you're listening to
the
the
H.
audiobook.
I
Okay.
mean, yeah, but part-time witch.
True.
So
Yeah,
Shango.
but is it like some spiritual deity?
Orisha. Hmm.
Oh.
That's why I made the comment about how like so reading the final copy and it's like, okay, we they mention Shango as like kind of like
Mm-hmm.
lurking in the whatever. So I originally thought because I recognized the name and because we opened with Mami Wata that I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, we're talking about the Orisha, like we're talking about the deity here. But then it turned out to be a
Mm-hmm.
dog, and I'm like, I had to kind of go deep in my head to be like,
Mm-hmm.
him being represented as a dog is not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's not inaccurate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm curious to see where that goes because I'm like, who is he connected to in the family, right? Like who
Yeah.
why is this deity here even if only in representation of as a dog? Like what?
Interesting.
And if I
I
remember
never
correctly, Shango is a god of war. If
Interesting.
I
God of
remember correctly.
War. Okay. I'm trying to think if that is if what you're saying is correct. How does that pertain to? Oh yeah, well.
So he's a Yoruba deity,
Mm-hmm.
Orisha. Um thunder, lightning, fire, justice, dance. Um fifth day of the week. Blah blah blah. Yoruba land. What is he? I think it's war. Yeah, he is strongly associated with war, strength, and virality.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah.
I can see. Interesting. Now that I have that context, because I didn't think
But
to look up
like,
his name like that. I don't know why. Like, I guess if it's, for me at least, if it's not something that I knew before, I probably wouldn't have thought of that.
yeah, no, I immediately recognize it. But I also thought that like Ogun was the god of war. So I need to like look into that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. I
um because like so did you recognize like Mami Wata? Like did you recognize that as like a
yeah.
deity?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did. I was like, oh, okay. So I knew of it. Like I've heard the name. And actually, speaking of which, they are dragging Edom, the Christians, Edom the lip gloss, because I guess they named one of the lip glosses their new lip glosses after that.
For those that are not watching on YouTube, I hope you felt how hard I rolled my eyes.
And it's like, so like somebody commented, it's like it's not that deep or whatever they say. It's kind of like it's not that deep. Like this is some cultural references. It's not that. Da, da, da. The girl was like, "I rebuke it in the name of Jesus." Da da da. Da. And I'm like, okay, for me personally, if you don't give too much power to certain things in which you don't believe, it will not manifest to you. That's just how I feel about it. Like
Okay,
I
okay.
like.
Not no. But and also
Mm-hmm.
rebuking something in the name of Jesus is also the same thing that people are doing when they are calling in their Orisha. So you're doing the same thing that you are.
No, I totally get that. Like, I just like from the Christian side personally,
Mhm.
like, come on, guys, like, relax. But
And if your belief is so strong, right? Why does something like the name of a lip gloss move you so much?
that's my point. Is like, why are you giving it so much power? Just don't use a lip gloss. If that's how you feel, just don't use a lip gloss or don't give it too much power.
Speaking of lip glosses, this is a lip chat, but it's from Poppy and Pout. I got this the other day, baby. You need you some of this. I might just buy it for you and mail it to the house because
Where did you get, I was just thinking about Ami Cole and I was like, man, I missed them already.
yeah, no, this is a good time. I like the minty one better, but I keep that in my pocketbook.
Poppy and Pop. Is that from a local store?
No. Well, I did get it from a local store, a local black-owned store, but
Mhm.
I went on their website and I will be
Oh.
spending money.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to send that to
Mhm.
me.
I sure will. They got like an overnight lip mask that I want to use. I also have a lip scrub from them that's
Ooh.
very good.
Oh yeah, send. Um, but back to we went lip gloss. Anyways, I did recognize the name. I just didn't think about Shango that way. I don't know why. And that would make sense because of how the figure of the dog moves throughout the story. Like he's like a
Right.
distant figure in the background, but he's always there. And then I won't ruin it. I'm not gonna try to ruin
Okay.
anything. But like pretty much like I enjoyed the story. I think it was for me, it was very reminiscent of daughter, my sister, the serial killer, in
Hmm.
that type of like that vibe. Like she has really cemented herself with this type of writing style and these stories that feel to me homey as well as funny, a little bit of it's like a little bit of everything that makes you feel like, oh, I'm familiar with this work very well.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
I think
yeah.
so far from what I've read, it feels like what people wanted My Sister the Serial Killer to be.
Hmm.
Um, although it still stands on its own.
It does. Yeah.
So,
It's a great standalone. So I enjoyed it. I think it would be one of my favorite reads so far this year, unless something knocks it out so far.
okay.
Um Jackal, confirmed thoughts, because we talked about it with the book club. So there's so many things with Jackal. I think Jackal had so much potential. The ending was just like it's like two different books. One part of the book is one way and the other part of the book is just like where did we go from here? And I think the author has good intentions with bringing light to Black girls disappearing. I think that is the
Okay.
overarching point. That is like her intentions are pure and true to that, of course. Because I read some of her interviews, like she's very passionate about that. However, I think the intentions got lost in the sauce with how she executed the thriller point. I think this would have been excellent with a different structure, with a different I think maybe leaving it maybe at a mystery. Somebody said they didn't trust us enough to journey with what's going on, and that's very true. Like, it's like she was like breadcrumbing us with certain things and then like not giving us time to figure out the things throughout the book. It was just a very odd way to have us journey. And I think a formula is not necessarily the exact way I'm thinking because I don't want I don't want to compare them in terms of like she needs to follow this exact formula that like Tiffany D. Jackson has. But Tiffany D. Jackson does an excellent job of having real life events and executing it in a mystery thriller-esque type of vibe. Somebody mentioned what was the one? I kind of like that, the Stephen King one that she did. Ah, crap. I'm looking at the
Carrie?
cover right. It was Carrie, but she had I forgot the name of the book that she did, but it's based off Carrie, yes. That Tiffany D. Jackson did. I think that was a pretty decent retelling of sorts and situation and
Okay.
using real life events. Monday's
The
not
Weight of
coming.
Blood.
The Weight of Blood. There we go. Monday's Not Coming is another one that's like a real life event, where she spins it in a way. I didn't read that one, but people said she spun it in a way where it felt obviously it was based off real life, but it was kind of like a mystery type of vibe.
Yeah.
Um, and then same thing with the scammer in a sense, if you think about it, like. The scammer was based off of a real life event of some hotep dude, I think in Atlanta or whatever.
Oh
And
no, it was a case here in New York. It was actually a white man.
it was a white
Um,
man.
yeah, it was a there was a white dude, um, the Hotep version of a white man.
Okay.
And it was his he was like dating some girl and ended up like moving
Mhm.
into the dorm and like whatever. Now there could also be a situation that happened in Atlanta that was similar.
Hmm.
But that's the case that came to my mind. It was a white dude in New York.
Okay. Yeah. So I think what I'm trying to get to is I think there's a way to execute these real life events in a way that is thriller-esque or horror, just without so much of the fluff and the shifts in how things are executed. It's just it was really weird.
So the author of Jackal, if I remember correctly, isn't she Haitian?
Yes. Yes.
Do you think the way that she told the story is reminiscent of Caribbean writing?
Mm-mm.
Like, do you think the things that were because I remember the first time that I read like a Caribbean author, I was kind of off put with how they tell stories. And I think you were the person that kind of affirmed what I was picking up on that was kind of like off-putting me. So do you think it's something related to that, or is it just genre
Hmm.
specific, do you think?
I'm trying to go through the
Like
Caribbean, like trying to think of books
of right.
with the
Because like I'm trying to like I don't know many Haitian authors, right? Like off the top of my head, whether they're Haitian American or just
the
Haitian at besides like Edwidge Danticat,
mm,
right? Like we just read Edwidge. But
mm,
I
mm,
wonder if like what she may have been reading.
mm.
Be okay, I'm
Because
lying. What's the
if
lady's name?
Miriam Chauncey, What Storm, What Thunder, I don't think so. That's another Haitian author, Miriam Chauncey. She wrote
Okay.
What Storm, What Thunder. Her story didn't feel like that to me.
Okay.
She's another prominent Haitian author.
What's the one that
Uh
I read? No Kingdom for Tomorrow. That's a Haitian author.
oh, that's a Haitian author, yeah.
But that's lit fic historical fiction, so there isn't necessarily
Yeah.
a mystery aspect to it. But I'm
There's
curious
not
now,
there's not
like,
many from my research, there's not that many Haitian authors that are doing horror thriller type of stuff. Miriam Chauncey, she does mostly historical fiction or literary fiction. The other Haitian author I have that wrote Wolf Hustle, Sin Fabry, or Fabry, yeah, Fabry. She wrote a memoir about being on Wall Street. Edwidge, we know she writes mostly like historical fiction, lit fic. And then
but
there's
there
these.
for damn, what's the name of the book? My mind is mush. I
What
feel like
happened?
there's a mystery aspect to what Edward Cat book did we just read?
Oh, yeah, there is. The Farming of Bones. But
Thank you.
personally, I don't know. I'm trying to think of also just Caribbean literature in general, and I just don't think it gives that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it gives that. I think she is, and I think there's also there's a I don't know if it's, I'm trying to use, before I say what I'm saying. I don't think it's offensive because I am Jamaican American. I think there's a difference between how Caribbean literature and Caribbean born writers write versus ones that are here that are,
Absolutely.
have that diaspora. Because I probably won't write how Alexia authors writes because she was born in Jamaica and she has her schooling there and stuff like that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
there's like a difference. That's why I'm like kind of like, it's not,
I get
because
what you're saying.
you can kind of tell the difference between,
Okay.
yeah, you can tell. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
Is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I don't know. I am curious for her next book. She has a new book that comes out 2027. It sounds solid. I will not buy it. I will just get it from the library.
That's gonna be the name of the episode. I will not buy it.
No shade. I just want to trust you. I don't want to waste my money. I'll ask for the art too. I just
Word.
don't want to. I just don't want to waste my money. I don't think. I think this came out 2 years ago. No, 4 years ago. Three. Maybe somewhere. A couple years ago. So maybe she grew, and I'm hoping she grew as an author, and that is all I pray. Moving on. The Three Mothers, excellent. I'm really mad. It kind of took me long to get to it, but I think it is a really interesting approach to show feminism, of course, but also Black feminism, as well as looking at three women in history that were erased because they only like how she described it is pretty much the men are always revered. Like when you're talking about um say for instance Martin Luther King, you always kind of think about his father, who was always referenced as the Reverend. His father was always referenced, but his mom had a lot to do. She had so much to push into. All these men really love their mothers and how much of an impact they are, and they don't get much credit. So I think it was a very fascinating overview of these women were kind of erased from the history of their sons and how
Yeah.
they have, pretty much impacted their sons. Although most of them, like for Malcolm's mom, she was pretty low key.
Hmm.
Um, but and she wanted it to be that way, but at the same
Okay.
time, like Malcolm really loved his mother and how I didn't know she went to a mental institution. I didn't know that part of it. I don't remember reading that in the autobiography of Malcolm X.
That sounds very familiar to me.
I might need to reread that again. But I didn't know she was put in a mental institution and all the things. James Baldwin's mother was very interesting. Her story was quite interesting as well. I think it was just a very interesting observation of just Black women and how we're erased from our children automatically.
Yeah.
When spoken to, it's always like, oh, they always refer to the father like, oh, how's raising your kids versus like referencing the mother who's standing right there, stuff like that. So I think that was good. And then Sleepless in Alton was a novella that I read, which was really cute by Jemiah Taylor. Got that from Bray. And yeah, I think that's all the books I read.
Okay.
I'm watching Married at First Sight with Charisse.
I mean, I guess, girl.
And uh, this has never happened in all the years I've watched Married at First Sight. I've never seen the couple actually, one of them actually get pregnant in a month. I was like, oh my gosh, you freaky frogs. Y'all have been
Not
hunching
you freaking frog.
with no condom this whole time. Yeah, no. So if you guys aren't familiar with Married at First Sight, it's pretty much what it says. It's like matchmaking, modern day matchmaking pretty much. And these experts, they match people together. They're like sex experts, relationship experts, and then Pastor Cal, who's a pastor. And he's in relationships, yeah. But they pair each of these people up together, and then once you get to the altar, you see who you're marrying, and you get married, and you take that leap. And then at the end of like 8 weeks, you decide if you want to stay with them. It's 8 or 12, I don't know. And so we're only at the month mark, and she is pregnant. One of the girls is pregnant. I said, wow, that's crazy. In
That's
all the years,
insanity.
the show existed for a long time.
Doesn't your granny watch it too?
That's 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, okay.
I gotta catch up with her on that actually. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's about it. Hmm. Yeah. What about you? What have you been reading?
This week was a bad body week. So
Mm,
I have been in the bed. I
mm-hmm.
finished Call Baby. Phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Chef's kiss. It wasn't my first time reading it. I will say trigger warning for miscarriage, loss of child, and mental
Yeah.
health issues. Um, Morgan Jerkins is fucking phenomenal. It's very similar to Zeal in the way that we are examining like family secrets and
Mm.
generational curses, so to say. I actually think I would recommend it as a like if you liked Call Baby, you'll probably like Cursed Daughters. If you liked
Oh yeah.
um I feel like if you wanted more from the wilderness, you'll like Call
And
Baby.
maybe even as much as I wasn't a fan of the book, I know some people were, but the Devil Three Times, that's also kind of like a
No.
no,
Uh-uh.
not
So no. Because the Devil Three Times leans more towards homegoing, and that's more like so like with this one, I shouldn't necessarily say generational because that's
oh okay.
indicating a longer span of time, whereas
Mm-hmm.
Call Baby is over a span of decades. So like we are dealing with different generations, but not like 50, 60 years. It's like, through different chunks of their life. Um following through like so there is a family in town that practices magic. They all are born with their call, and you're supposed to do this particular ritual, and the call has protective properties, not only for the person that it has, but if you are to take a piece of the call and give it to someone, it has protective properties. Um so this family is living in Harlem and they're selling their call to everyone except for the other black people in their community. And this woman who is like not necessarily our main character, but she gets
Mm-hmm.
the ball rolling. She is pregnant. The entire town knows that she has a history of miscarriages. She is farther along in this particular pregnancy than she has any of her other ones. And she's starting to get a little nervous and anxious, rightfully so. She tries to buy the call. She loses her baby. Walking down the
Mm-hmm.
street, bleeding and all, she leaves this baby on their steps because you could have
Mm.
helped me. You did not agree to, like you said, you gave me a price. I had the money for it and you told me no. So then all of this other stuff happens because of this particular incident.
Mm-hmm.
And a baby is born in their call and it's given to the um the family, right? It's not a
Mm-hmm.
baby that they birthed. I can't tell you where the baby came from because that spoils a big part of the plot.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to see how these family secrets impact all of
Mm-hmm.
these different moving pieces throughout these few decades.
Mm-hmm.
And um it's a conversation and like just because this family tradition has been bringing in money and working doesn't mean it's something that we shouldn't change from, right? And how
Mm-hmm.
stuck in our ways our community can be
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of different ways, even from the perspective of people that also have like deep rooted magical practices such as being a doula, right? That's a very spiritual practice, but how against
Mm-hmm.
they this particular family and their call they were because they didn't help the black people. So it's a very interesting thing, but I wouldn't say the double three times because that's giving us a larger perspective.
Versus
Whereas this is like zoomed in on particular families, on a particular
mm,
neighborhood, and how these things impact, like in the effect of gentrification and all of this, right? Like because of gentrification, this particular family was able to only help white people,
mm,
right? So that they were getting the bigger bucks instead of like they could have done both,
Mm-hmm.
right? But how do these patriarchal systems impact how we see our own people and how we treat our own people, even when they're in need?
Mm-hmm.
So Call Baby was very good. I think The Wilderness is having a similar conversation through the perspective of friendship and how, like, all of these big things that are happening in our lives impact how we show up as
Mm-hmm.
humans, but also how we show up as friends, right? And how
Mm-hmm.
that could um shift depending on what things you decide to stand on or sort of that thing. So I think from a style perspective and from a like how the story is told, I think that's a
Mm-hmm.
connector in there too. And the reason that I want to read The Water Bearers is because I think although it is a nonfiction, that it'll fit in the sphere of
I need to read
um
that one too. Mm-hmm.
like Cursed Daughters, Call Baby, The
Mm-hmm.
Wilderness, like it'll fit in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Um read that. I finished the Jennings Mafia Family series by D. Scott, the last brother. His name is Judah. He's super, super funny. If any of you have read 10,000 Hours with a Rich Menace by Jaquel J, I think you'll like the Jennings brothers because they're all kind of funny and quirky, especially Judah. So, quick story, Judah is from a mafia family. He's the only one that's not married. They work with a family in South America. That's where they get their drugs and shit from. They're visiting. There's one girl in the house that catches his eye. He finds out that it's this boss's goddaughter, and the boss is like, I love you boys like y'all are family. I'll kill you behind her. But they
Mm.
end up kind of like sneaking around anyway, and she's a meteorologist and she has to come to New York on business. And she comes and he's like, I want you to be my girlfriend. Um, you don't have to go back. And the boss come looking for her. So there's like mess or whatever.
Mm.
But it's a very cute, quick. All three of the brothers. I like Trouble the most. He's the first one. I'm coming to terms with the fact that the reason that I like Nonchalant Men is because I've been fantasizing about Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice all my life. So I like me a mean ass nigga, and Trouble is a mean ass nigga.
Okay.
Um, but that's a very cute series. If you're looking for something like quick or whatever, roughneck, whatever, whatever. And then speaking of Jaquel J, I did read Heart of a Goon yesterday. It
Mm-hmm.
came out yesterday. I read all 500 plus pages yesterday. In between up chucking my life away, I was like in the bathroom holding my Kindle up to my very unserious in this household. Um, and if you haven't read um Capone, Capadonna, Capri, Qasim, all of his books, if you haven't read the
What's the other
rest
one?
of the
The
Delgado
Menace.
series, because they're
Yeah.
all in there, right? I wouldn't necessarily suggest you read this one. Now, me who can put pieces together, if you have good comprehension skills, I think you'll be okay because she's able to summarize things in places pretty well.
Yeah.
But there might be some bits where you're confused. So I would say go read them in order if you are looking to read them.
Mm-hmm.
I love Goon, and he might be my favorite of the men.
Mm.
Y'all know I go hard for Capadonna. I will always go hard for Capadonna. I love that crazy ass, loony ass nigga. Goon also ain't got no good sense, but there is a calm to him that I really, really enjoy. And he's just like, hey, like, I know what I want, right? And I know that in order to get what I want, which is a committed relationship, I have to move in a particular way.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't just be out here doing whatever the case may be. But he also understood that Zoya was a little broken
Mm-hmm.
and she needed patience, right? Because she didn't feel like she was worthy of a good love. She deemed herself broken. So it's like it's a very relatable romance.
Mm.
Um, with all of the elements that we love about Jot, it's funny, it's violent in places, like all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can do without the very harsh cliffhangers. I'm over it. So I don't
Mm.
necessarily know that I will be reading any more Jacole J. I want all of the success for her. I'm very happy for her. I love her down. I just don't need that. And as a person that reads M.O. Bash, Casey Mills,
Mm.
Masterpiece, the Jennings Mafia family, and all of that, you can leave us guessing without tossing us off the cliff, right?
Yeah.
And I think Jacole J is to a point where her fans trust her. And I think brand loyalty is important. I think in some way, shape, or
Mm-hmm.
form, we all, like, even with the things that I do for my own content, shit that we do for this podcast, like, all of
Mm-hmm.
us, there are little things and quips that we're always going to do because that's what works.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one bit that should evolve because I
Yeah.
can see the evolution of the rest of her work.
Mm-hmm.
For example, when I read Don Caselli, right? And I said to y'all, I was like, everybody was raving about, oh, it's so spicy, spicy this, spicy that. Them sex scenes was not spicy, right? They was hunching hard, but it wasn't spicy. Goon was a little spicy. I can see the growth from where the sex scenes were placed for the
Mm-hmm.
build up to them. Like you can see the growth in her style of writing, the things that she's trying to do. The work is there. So we can also grow in this other area without necessarily risking her
Yeah.
own personal growth and her fans. So
Absolutely.
I don't know that I will be um I don't know that I'm gonna read anything else by her for a while. Or if at all. Like I'ma still support, I'ma still recommend. Someone I met somebody the other day that was asking me like, oh, like where what would you suggest somebody if they wanted to get back into reading? And immediately I said Jaquel J. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to get back into reading and you want to either that or erotica, whichever one. But Jaquel J. I
Mm-hmm.
just and it, leading into the topic for today's episode, which is critiquing
Mm-hmm.
literature. I don't think that Heart of a Goon is a bad book because I can recognize where I want growth from this author. It's not bad. I had a good time reading it. Do
Mm-hmm.
I think that it needed to be 500 plus pages long? I think that is a crime against humanity. And I'm sick of you hussies. Okay? And these long ass urban fictions. I don't and then a 500 plus page book doesn't need it to be continued.
Mm-hmm.
Because what do
Because
you mean?
that should have been the continued.
That should have been the continue, right? And that's not me bashing her as an author, right? That's me saying I've read, okay, it's 3 books in Capone, four, so that's 7, plus another 4 in Capri, right? So that's what,
Mm-hmm.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Menace, that's 12.
Mm-hmm.
Don Caselli, that's 13. Plus this one. So I've read 14 books by her.
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to like express that I want more from her as an author.
Yeah.
And that's not a wanting more is not a negative thing.
It's not. Um, I don't want to spiral into our conversation, so I'll just, yeah, we'll leave it there
Like
and
it
we'll
just
get
it
back
does
to, yeah.
yeah, so it was it was I really really enjoyed Zoya and
Mm-hmm.
Goon. Like I really think Goon is my new book boyfriend.
Mm,
I like and he's
he's
Jamaican.
that.
He your
I
cousin.
saw, I saw that too. She had like, I noticed is she of Caribbean? I'm pretty sure she's some Caribbean descent of sorts.
I don't think so. I just think that
Oh,
she's from New York and just
and
has
she
a
just
lot of access
knows.
to right
Yeah.
because she put a little like note in there saying like I did the research for the patois that's in this book.
Oh, okay, okay. So then,
So,
I wonder. Well, she had to do research on that. Well, there's different types, but Is she's not Bayesian at all because she got the
I don't
Delgados
know.
are
Maybe
Bayesian. Interesting.
right. Maybe she might be. But
Yeah.
then I'm like, if she's Bayesian, I mean, it's not like patois across cultures. So like, they have their own. You get
They
what I'm saying?
do. They have their own lingo and stuff. Um, like their own, like you can tell as well as just how their dialect is a little bit different than you can always tell the difference, honestly. Because they also
Yeah,
speak, we also call them like the
the
Baltimore,
Irish, right?
the Baltimore of because we can never understand them. They always have
Okay.
like this weird how they talk is just so weird.
It's like an
Yeah.
emphasis on all the vowels.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Versus
just like
like
to me, like Trini people sing. They
I
have
was about
like
to
a very
say it's very sing-song.
sing-songy,
Yeah.
yeah, like Trini people sing and it's a lot like smoother to me than
Sort of
like
Grenadians as well, but theirs is a little bit harsher, if that makes
hmm
sense. Yeah. Yeah.
like once I started like there are a lot of Caribbean people in my life. Like once I started really like paying attention to tone and like
Mm-hmm.
whatever, like you can tell
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um, but I really, really, really like Go. So
That's good.
I'm still reading my the stuff that I still have going is Cursed Daughters and Hamnet.
Mm-hmm.
Um Hamnet is so dreamy. I can't this weekend I'm finishing Hamnet. I miss it. Like it's Cursed Daughters is very good, but my mind is just like, well, what
Take
is
me there.
William Shakespeare doing? What is he just saw his wife for the first time and he's all dreamy
Mm-hmm.
and in love. Like that's what,
Mm-hmm. That's where
so
your mind is.
I'm gonna
Fair.
finish that this weekend. I'm gonna finish Cursed Daughters, I'll finish Hamnet, and then I'll
Mm-hmm.
go into The Water Bearers.
Okay. That sounds very
And
good.
so I'm at 128 books right now for the year.
Mm-hmm.
I could get to 150. I could.
You could.
So I'm not gonna stress myself. If it happens, it happens.
I was about to
But
say.
also, I'm
But
very competitive with myself. And the little voice in my head is gonna be like, "You the baddest bitch I know. What you mean you can't make it to 150 before the year is over? What you mean?" And if I say that
crying.
out loud to my mother that 150 is my goal, she gonna be like, "My baby could read another 20 books in her sleep." So
Oh man. The way
so
my the way my 10 for 10 is set up and other reading that I have, I might honestly hit 100 at this point.
I need to be honest and say that I put that 10 for 10 up because I wanted to play in Canva. I might don't even look at them books.
I'm screaming.
I
But no, that's so real
just
though.
want to be serious because one of the books we already decided that is going to be January's read, so I'm definitely not reading that.
What's on my list? I think
Let me
my
go look
list.
because
Make Your Way Home, I want to read. Zeal, I want to read.
you have to read
Trinity.
that.
Trinity might be next year. So Medina, I can definitely listen to that. Black Cherokee, I definitely want to read. Oop. The love
Okay, maybe
songs.
I'm not lying. Maybe I'm not lying.
Cause which one are you talking about that's supposed to be next year?
The Grand Paloma Resort.
Oh, that's on yours, yes. Mm.
I have the Queen of Sugar Hill on here. No Sense in Wishing. I never went back to finish that. I want to finish that. I have 107 Days by Kamala Harris, The Love Songs of
Oh
W.E.B. Du Bois,
yeah.
The Conjuring of America, Song of Solomon, and The Girls Who Grew Big. And then I have this book Fox that I want to read soon, and Ra. Okay, so at least two of these is not getting read. And I'm gonna
I
be
was
honest with
gonna
you, it might be Song of Solomon might not get read because
about to
I know
say.
I'm not gonna have the capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, The Conjuring of America may or may not.
Yeah.
So okay, okay. Y'all know I'm a mood reader. It's not that I'm not gonna read 10 books before the end of the year. It's just it might don't be
Might be
those 10
those
books.
10 books.
Might don't be those ones.
Um, a small place I do want to read before the end of the year is up
Okay.
by Jamaica Kincaid. Red Clay, everybody said that's amazing, so I want to read that. All
Yes.
we
Oh my God. I forgot you haven't read that yet. Yes. You have to
no,
read that. That's a very
yeah.
good time. That's a
Yeah,
very good time.
I gotta read that one.
And the
All we were
audiobook is
promised.
great.
I have the audio. I have the ALC.
Put
Mm-hmm.
that up. Put that on this week. You'll get through it quick.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
You'll get through
All
that
we
one
were
quick. You're gonna love that.
all we were promised. I've had that teeter-tottering so long, and then it was snatched away from me mid read. So
Okay.
I feel like the girls who grew big. I'm gonna try before end of year, but I don't know
Let
if
me
it's
know
gonna
when you
happen.
start it. Let me know when you
Eh,
start it, and we'll see.
Okay, but my like top three is Red Clay. No, I'm gonna say top four: Red Clay, Zeal, Make Your Way Home, in a Small Place.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think I can get to all of them. Are you reading anything else, friend? Um, is that all?
No. Yeah, that's all. I think there's a I downloaded a urban fiction that's like it's called Adonis. It's by K.L. Hall. I think I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
start that later.
Okay, cool.
What's the
Um,
Jamaica Kincaid book you said? A Small Place?
yes, it's
Okay.
about that's one of the she critiques colonization throughout all her books, and when it comes to like primarily colonization and the exploitation of tourism in all her books, but this one is about her, it's her autobiography in a sense, where
Ah,
she
okay.
talks more about this. And I was thinking about it because of how so much of what's going on in Jamaica, and it made me think of that. And I'm like, it's time for me to read it because I think when you know more, you do better. And when you're traveling to other places and other countries and other islands, you need to understand why you're traveling to these places and what you're getting into and how to be a better traveler when you go to these places.
You go there.
As for
Yes.
me, I generally try to be a good like traveler when I go to anywhere I go. But not a lot of people have couth, as we can see over here complaining about certain things. So I just want to be informed in how I can articulate that to an audience as it grows, stuff like that. So, um, but yeah, and I like Jamaica Kincaid. I just want to knock one other off. So there's that. But this week we're talking about critique. And this came up in because I saw somebody say they would never critique a black book. Or like publicly critique a black book. And I was like, why are people so scared to critique? Right? Like we see this a lot, and I've said this several times in different forms, but like that was just like, bro, like why are people so scared to critique? And somebody, Bree Monique asked, I definitely would wanted to ask, could you and Shelby expound upon this maybe in future episode? Because I've seen where one or two authors have discouraged readers from leaving negative reviews. I am of the opinion that places like Goodreads, Fable, private Facebook groups, etc., are reader spaces, and critique of respectful fashion shouldn't be um dissuaded. Yeah, that's right, word. Um, is it dissuaded? Can
Dissuaded,
I read
maybe?
dissuaded?
It's
Girl
all right,
can't
friend.
read.
It's a long it's been a long few days for us.
A lot of
Um,
words, but you know what I
so
mean.
I've always been confused when authors, excuse me, or when readers say that authors shouldn't be in quote unquote reader spaces because 9 times out of 10 they are readers too. And one thing that I appreciate about Sibo Campbell, right, is that he is very open to conversation about his work because he understands that once it is put out into the ether, that it no longer belongs to him, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that literature is written with intent and purpose. So if you are doing a good job, it's gonna incite emotion in people. I do think that there are reviewers that are really disrespectful. There was a girl recently, um, she is a descendant of Mount Caucasus, and she like was like holding the book up. Let me get something that's pretty neutral because I mean, Oscar Wilde could come haunt me in my sleep, but she was like, and the plot, terrible and bad, girl. And I skipped through all these other chapters because it's writing terrible and bad, blah, 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 bitch. You shouldn't write shit else and blah, blah, blah. Like doing the absolute most. I'm paraphrasing, but doing the
Mm-hmm.
absolute most, like so much so, and then tagging the author in it so that the author could see it. That I think is
Mm-hmm.
extreme, right? And I don't necessarily think that that is critique. I think people get on the internet and use that under the guise of critique to be able to
Mm-hmm.
say whatever it is that they want, and that I don't agree with, right? Because I come from a generation that when you talk out of turn you might just get slapped in your mouth.
That part. Mm-hmm.
Hey, you get what you open the door, people will walk through it. So that I agree, like no, you there's no reason for you to disrespect an author, but also with how I was talking about Heart of a Goon, right? People will also take that as me bashing an author, and that is not me bashing Jacorja at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, um, uh, if we want to talk about bashing, what I'm about to say next is bashing. For a bunch of bitches that read books all the time, y'all are not smart.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are not smart because y'all don't know the difference between how something is making you feel and what the intent and purpose of something is. And because that
Yeah.
is often misconstrued, how y'all talk about literature, how y'all talk about these authors also gets
Mm.
misconstrued.
Yes, absolutely. I think so. I come from a schooling background when it comes to anything with art, which is different for people when they like, for instance, same thing with writing. Writing is art, of course.
Right.
Most people don't go to school for art. And then there's a large majority of people that do go to school for art. And when you're in art school, you got to leave your feelings at the door because your
Bro, I had
feelings.
an art teacher that would take a red Sharpie. She would hang our things up on the board
Hmm.
and with a red Sharpie, change this, change that. This is wrong. This is ugly.
Yes. It's literally like when you're going into these institutions, you have critiques. That is on your syllabus. That is for something that happens at least once a week. So you come, you create your art, you go out into the world. And when I first started with photography, I was in high school. We didn't have necessarily critiques, but our teacher would tell us, like, hey, maybe do this, do that. When I entered college and started with photography in college, you, a lot of y'all would
Wouldn't
not
make it.
last.
You
Y'all
know,
would not last.
it's funny that you're bringing that up because I've had to, in some ways, unlearn how I was taught to read as an English major because I would
Hmm.
go into books immediately analyzing how the sentence was put together, why this
Hmm.
placement is here, why that is there. I don't think, at least from my experience, I don't think the critique that I got as an English major was as harsh, but I wasn't in many creative writing things, right? So
Mm.
I was, oh, read this book and then analyze a particular topic kind of English major.
Hmm.
Not the like, I want to write a novel someday, so I'm in more of like writing workshop type environments, which can be
Hmm.
very intense, right? Because there's smaller groups. I took
Hmm.
one, and that was the day that I said, oh, baby, this shit ain't for me.
Hmm.
I no.
Yeah,
So I like that you bring that up because the people would not survive. And
they
it's
wouldn't.
evident in how they
Mm-mm.
react to these conversations. Because
Hmm.
like I wrote a piece about we had to like describe a journey. And I wrote about going up to Granddaddy Baker's house, which we have to go up this like,
Hmm.
New Jersey is mountainous in places. We had to go up
Yeah.
the side of this mountain. And in the fall time, all of the leaves changing. So like I described that
Hmm.
to the best of my abilities, which I thought was good. I got in that class and people was like, this was
No.
bad. I was
Yeah.
like,
Hmm. Hmm.
what?
No, no, literally. It is literally like that. Like I have this, I don't remember what exactly it is because I blocked it out my brain, the idea. Because she ripped me to shreds. But also, like, I also want to make this point before I tell the story. As the more than likely the only majority of the time black girl, woman in the class, period, or just black person in the class, period. I also went in with the understanding that sometimes they just wouldn't understand some of the things. So
Oh
I
yeah.
also took it.
Yes.
I took certain things with a grain of salt. But at the same time, I also took certain things very seriously when it came to technique. Subject matter, you know, but technique, yeah. I had this one professor. He would rip me to shreds, like bad. Like I felt discouraged. He was going in, and then like he left, and I had another professor, and the way she critiqued was nice. Well, nice to an extent. She still was like edgy type of artistic type of vibe. But the way she delivered it, and I want to say this, the way you deliver things is how you critique. The way you say things is how you, that is the art of critiquing. I'm not going to say to Shelby, say for instance, your shirt or you draw something like the painting back there.
Mm,
I'm not going to say to Shelby, that shit looks ugly. You should
right.
never, ever, ever put that shit up ever again. This, or I could be like, so you know what? Technically, maybe you should work on the silhouette. This, make this a little bit darker, make me, that is how
Right.
you should
You
do
could be
it.
like, hey, the tones don't necessarily go together, right? If you want this to be a
Yeah.
little bit more congruent, you want to make sure the tones of the colors that you're using flow a little bit better together so that you get the
Yeah.
whatever that you're looking. Yes, 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 yes. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Is how you say it all the time. And I have had teachers lead me and guide me, especially this specific teacher, guide me in the direction that I need to be by giving me technical feedback as well as subject matter feedback. Like, okay, maybe you should head in this direction a little bit more because it seems like you're more drawn to it. And I think you'll get more emotions out of this versus going this way. I think there's so much that could be said when it comes to writing, which is why I don't subscribe to not posting negative reviews. Right.
Right.
For me personally, like I just talked about Jackal. I actually wrote up my review. I need to post it tomorrow. But I said it in a way where it's like there's still an opportunity, A, for me to still read this author's work. There's still opportunity for me to give this author another chance. But I do not feel like this book, to me at least, and it's not just me, it's quite a few other people that slid in my DMs about the book when I posted on my close friends that have said the same thing that they just felt like the book was lacking a lot. And book club also said it was just lacking some
Right.
points there. And that's okay. I don't think because we have black people, we definitely need to uplift our own, but that does not excuse them from getting proper critique. And I think they
But
would
like,
understand that too.
so like that's like when I say like I don't read romance that has the C word in it, right?
Yeah.
Because it makes me uncomfortable. Never do I say like, oh, those books are bad because they have the C word in it. No, it's something that
Hmm.
literally makes my body cringe, so I don't participate in it. Um, I think there's this search for perfectionism where people feel like if something doesn't meet the complete standards that they have for literature, for themselves in life, or whatever the case may be, if it doesn't meet all of that, then they can't read it.
Yeah.
Or that immediately makes it bad, and they think that that's also critique, and it's not. Because are you
Exactly.
actually understanding something if you're only reacting to how it makes you feel?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's not
Exactly.
comprehension. That's not
That's not,
comprehension.
you got to take your feelings out of it. That's why I said when I got into art school, they told you leave your feelings at the door because this is not a personal thing. This is me telling you what I feel could grow your work at the end of the day and how
Right.
you can grow as an artist. We're here as readers to digest the content. And if you're asking us to review the content on Goodreads, do you want us to lie all the time about
A
how
lot of them
good?
want you to.
And I get it. You want to see good reviews, but you also need to accept the fact that some people, this will not resonate with everybody. Or
It won't.
there's some people that really analyze this work really deep down and find things that feel more, I guess, artistically better for the writing structure, right? It's literally literary analysis at the end of the day. We're here to analyze the text, digest the text, and show that, like, hey, this is good or bad. This is how I feel about this.
But I feel like I don't know, like I remember one time someone said to me, "Well, that's what beta readers are for, to like
Hmm.
catch all of the like issues and so on and so forth." And I'm just like, but if all your beta readers are your best friends, like if all your beta
That's
readers are
what.
people that you enjoy how they review books and what they have to say and so on and so forth, like,
Mm. What's the point? You're just like this goes back to what I'm saying. If you are just hearing the good things from people, how does that make you grow as an artist?
right, how?
How does that and, like how do you expect our writers to get better if they do not hear constructive criticism, feedback, however you want, peer review, whatever you want to call it to make it smoother and better? How do you expect people to grow if you are not providing, hey, X, Y, and Z? I personally don't subscribe to that. I just don't. That is what I was taught, you
They eat
know?
me up every time I complain about Gray Huffington writing 100 plus page prologues. They get so upset. And I'm like, at that point, it's a chapter. At that point, it's a part of the book. If we look up what the
Mm-hmm.
definition of a prologue is, right? It's supposed to set up a story. It's supposed to say,
Mm-hmm.
like, this is how these people met. This is why there is distance in their relationship. This is why, he's a widower. This is why, whatever the case may be, right? At 100 plus pages, what are we doing?
We read enough books to know what is, I wouldn't say right, but what is traditionally how
Right,
structure is supposed to go, right? I think, yes, you can take the leap of faith and do certain things when it comes to style, when it comes to how you structure your stories at times. But I think you need to keep the bare minimum of a prologue and epilogue should be no more than 20 pages, if
right,
that.
right.
Because even 20 sometimes is like, damn.
And it's like when you say, like, okay, this is taking away from what the point of a prologue is, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so like let's think of Rage of Dragons, for instance. The prologue in
Mm-hmm.
Rage of Dragons is the instance of explaining the relationship between the women in that world are the ones that are magic bearers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they usually don't get into romantic relationships with anyone else for a particular reason. But usually whoever their I'm gonna use soldier because I can't think of the exact word in the series. Like whoever their immediate soldier is
Mm-hmm.
usually who they have some sort of romantic relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
And the prologue sets that up, but he uses a war scene
Mm.
to do so, right? And then we jump to present day where we meet Tao and we whatever. So it's introducing us to not only their magic system, but to very important history for this world so that we understand where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't no more than like 15, 20 pages, if that.
And that's how it's supposed to be. I
We
think
was in
there,
and out.
that's just how it's, I feel like that's just how it's supposed to be personally. And I get it. You want to take leaps and you want to experiment and this and that. And yeah. But at the same time, there's certain things you shouldn't switch up. There's certain things that you can switch up anything else, but keep I feel like the standard should be a maybe a 10-15 page prologue. Epilogue should be 10-15 pages, if that. If that, because I don't know if I've seen an epilogue that long. Maybe like five
Yeah, no.
pages. But
Yeah,
you know what I
epilogues be
mean? It's
short.
like, yeah, it's like you gotta I just want us to understand that if we want our writers to do better and be better, we need to critique. We can't be coddling them. That don't get us nowhere. You want to protect the thought process is like, I'm trying to protect our people. I'm trying to protect our own because we're always critiqued. Well, I'm sorry to be the reality check here is, but for us to be taken seriously anywhere, we need to have proper critique on
But we
anything.
also need to understand that like all critique is not coming from a space of disrespect,
It's not,
right? Like that's what the point of
it's
this
not.
conversation is. It's not a personal attack on you that I didn't enjoy your book.
It's not. And that's
It's not
how
a
it's
personal attack.
taken.
Me not enjoying your book does not mean that you're a bad writer, except when I'm talking about Ashley Antoinette. That's the only exception. When I'm talking about her, I mean everything that I say negatively in capital letters. But everyone else is like, no, or Sister Soldier. You add Sister Soldier to that list too. You actually put Sister Soldier above Ashley Antoinette on that list. I mean everything that I say about them with the utmost disrespect. But
I'm
uh,
crying.
but it's like everything is not for everybody, right? And I think what I've been wanting to guide people into more and more, let's use Sky Full of Elephants, for example. I think Sky Full of Elephants is a book that meets you where you are. I think
Yeah.
people hate Sydney for very valid reasons, but they hate her so much that they can't see the similarities between the journeys that her and Charlie are on. They're both.
Just sorry, just to pause you right there. I've seen a
uh,
lot of critique about Stifle Elephants lately. And I even heard it in person. Almost like my neck just snapped back. Like, what do you mean? And I didn't like it didn't register that he I was like, wait. But to your point, yes, I think it's one of it's he comes from the school of Toni Morrison because all her books meet you where you're at. And
they
that's why I
meet
don't
you where you are. And if
that's why I
you
don't.
if you can't if your pattern recognition is not good,
Mm-hmm.
then you're not really going to understand Sky Full of Elephants. If you are in a space in your life where all you can see is the after effects of racism and white supremacy and all of these things, right? You can only see them and react to them viscerally, which is not wrong, then you're not going to fully get Sky Full of
Yeah.
Elephants. You're
Yeah.
not going to fully get it. And it may take a second read, it may take a third read to be able to see different things, right? If you're a parent, you may read Sky Full of Elephants the first time and very much resonate with how much Charlie has to shift in order to figure out how to meet his daughter where she is to raise her.
Yeah. It's a lot of
And
shifting. It's a lot of shifting.
and me as a person that is not a parent, I saw that, but that wasn't important to me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I'm just not in that space in my life right now. I get it. I get why it's important to the story, but I'm not in that space. That's not where I am in my life. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like if 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 we are understanding that, right? That comprehension at the end of the day is subjective, right? Your level of understanding is what you're going to get from a book every time. And
Mm-hmm.
that's also not a negative thing, right? My level of understanding is just different from yours, just like yours is different from mine. And
Mm-hmm.
yours being different doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong. It's just different. You've lived life differently.
Mm-hmm.
But that also doesn't make like do I think there's such thing as a bad book? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's usually for me at least subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
How certain things are displayed, how morality is displayed in characters, right? And
Mm-hmm.
how putting that book out into the world may impact how people view that particular race.
Yeah.
Those are the things that will say to me, like, oh, that's why that's a bad book. Maybe style and technique may come into there, right? But even with that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very lenient about because authors can always grow.
Everybody has a room to grow. And that's my whole point is like even if we're critiquing your style and technique, right? It's just in my mind, especially like thinking from the perspective of when I am in these spaces of education and getting my work critiqued, from a technical standpoint versus a subject standpoint, it just helped me to grow and understand, hey, I need to work on this a little bit more to get better. And gradually throughout the class, I did get better, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, hey, maybe structurally this could be a little bit better, or maybe X, Y, and Z, this could be better. I get it. We're not necessarily readers, or we're not writers ourselves, but we read a lot of good damn books. We're talking about you reading 100. So between both of us, we reading over 200 books.
Right. Between the both of us, we read at least 200 books a year to
And
combine. So it's
and we're
like,
reading across the genres, understanding things. So it's not to say that we're like top of the line literary
like
analysis, but
again,
like,
what I put in the group chat with you and Bridget the other day, where I said,
yeah.
I was like, a particular person was talking to me about how they don't like pregnancy and children in romance. And
Mm.
I'm just like, their specific question was like, what happened to birth control and abortions? And it's like, if we add an abortion to it and all that comes with an abortion, even if it's a mutually agreed on abortion,
Hmm.
that's now literary fiction.
Yeah.
It's an analyst on real life
Hmm.
and how real life then in turn impacts the relationships that you have with people. That's no
Hmm.
longer romance where the main aspect is falling in love. For example, with Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, that's the reason why we see the loss of their child as a flashback and not as a on the page experience,
Yep.
because it's not about what it necessarily, the focus of the book is not what that event did to their relationship, but how they
Hmm.
came back together.
And that's the love and the
And
romance
that's what
component of
makes it
it. Yep.
romance, right?
Yeah.
What the end goal of the plot is what makes it a romance. But it's
Hmm.
like people want to remake genre for their own feel, to match how they
Yeah.
want, exactly how they want to feel. And I'm
Hmm.
just like, not seeing yourself or the things that you want for yourself um it directly displayed in a book doesn't make it a bad book.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, there are people that read the erotica books that I recommend that have no interest in primal play, they have no interest in BDSM, they have very vanilla sex at home, and still can find the joy in what they read. They don't have to go home and partake in that. I'm never dating a drug dealer or a nigga that's been
Hmm.
to jail. Not ever.
Yeah.
But if I could get goon off the page,
He
I
would.
might let him sniff my neck a little bit, right? So it's like there are all of these limited perspectives that y'all are perpetuating as critique that's not. And I think
Yeah.
that's where we need to start. That's where we need to start.
Taking the personal out of the critique will help you understand that this is not personal at all. This is literally just providing feedback to an author who we love or we want to see grow. And that's it. It's nothing above that. And I think once you check the personal at the door, a lot of stuff would be simple. It really would. Like
Because
it's
I'm like,
just what it is.
I've read a couple of books that had the C word in it that were very good books.
Mm-hmm.
My whole entire body balls up every time I see the word.
But you read it.
When the book is, because what was
When
that?
the yeah. Well, Kennedy Ryan, does she use the C word, right? She definitely uses the C word.
In real, she did. When she realized that her audience was predominantly black now, she switched over to the D
She
word.
did?
Yeah, she
Oh
only
yes,
used,
real she did. Yeah, no.
yeah, in
No.
real, she it was a lot of the C word
Oh yeah, it
that
was.
I didn't even realize until
Because it was
somebody
so
pointed that out
good.
for me
Yeah.
because it's such a good book.
It's such a good book, yeah.
And
Yeah,
like
I
I read
wish.
Morning Glory Milk and Farm, that only used the C word. But I was just
Mm,
so fascinated by creatures.
hmm.
You know, I like me a creature now.
Yeah, I know.
Likes me a creature.
Yeah, man. I think that's the only way that we will get past critique is don't take this shit personal, guys.
Hmm.
It's really not that deep, y'all. We just you wanna be another thing is you want to be respected in this space as a creator, as a book reviewer, as somebody that reads books and gives feedback on books and recommendations. If you can't just say, hey, this book is bad, then I don't know if you should be in the space.
I don't know if you should be in the space because everything that you read is not good. But then I
Exactly.
think people, so someone saw my Sky Full of Elephants review that I posted on Instagram and was like, sidebar, I worked really hard on the Substack version of that. So if
Hmm.
y'all have not read that, go and read it because I worked very hard on that. Okay. Thank you. And somebody was like, oh, I'm reading this. It's just okay. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's interesting because I see that you're a fan of Toni Morrison, blah, blah, blah. And then they came back and was like, oh, well, I haven't finished it because I'm reading other things.
Mm.
So is it just okay or are you focused on the other books?
Yeah, we gotta use critical thinking, y'all. Somebody, I'm not sure if you saw, somebody said under my post about the love songs that they hated this book. In fact, it was their worst book they read all year. Mind you, mind you, every single anybody I've talked to about this book, even mentioned the book on threads, on Instagram, I have not seen one
Bad thing
bad
about
review. Never, like not one bad thing. If anything, it's more so like, oh yeah, I'm scared
and
to read it.
the people that I've seen say negative things about the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois only read one genre.
I went
I'm
to
not gonna
her
tell you what
page.
I'm not gonna tell you what genre it is, but they only read one genre, which to me means you were not ready for something like the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. It wasn't that it was bad. I remember talking to an elder that was just like, "Oh, I couldn't get with Toni Morrison. Oh, Tony meets you where you are. Maybe you should try again. Oh no, I had enough of that."
There was somebody, yeah, somebody in the book club said they didn't like Toni Morrison, but she read Sula and she really enjoyed Sula. And she was like, you know what? I'll give her a try again.
Every time you say Sula, I'm gonna be triggered now. That gal got up there. That gal got up there on Beyonce's interwebs and said that Sula is Toni Morrison at her best Tyler Perry, and I've been unwell since.
It's
Mm.
crazy. This is a crazy thing to say.
But that's another example of I knew exactly what she meant, but I also know deep down why that is a insult that Satan himself wouldn't have even thought of. Like Satan heard that and was like, "Did y'all hear what the hell she said? Somebody get me a pen and a piece of paper and write that down. Did you hear what she said?" Right? So it's like I didn't react negatively to that baby. I didn't, right? Because I've seen the other things that she reads. When she mentioned, I believe the other book that she was struggling with was A Mercy by Toni Morrison.
Yeah,
Um
that's on my list too. It's right there, looking
yeah,
at
it's on
it
mine as well.
for
Um
years.
when I saw the other things that she reads, I don't know why A Mercy is where she started with Tony, right? Like I
Hmm.
just felt like I can see why she didn't necessarily have a good experience if A Mercy is where she started, based on the other things that she's read, right? Um, but then like she read Dominion and she loved Dominion. So I'm like,
Where did we go wrong here? And don't get me started on Dominion too.
listen, because if they keep calling that a goddamn historical fiction, I'm gonna take my belt out. That's what I'm gonna do.
I
I'm gonna get my
will
belt.
I will literally, I had to tell somebody, I was like, you can't trust Goodreads all the time because Goodreads think anything black people in Mississippi probably historical fiction, y'all. Like, and just And just common for the folks that are getting into historical fiction, for common sense, you need to look up these things before you dive deep into anything that is not 50 years post. I think the lowest I see was 35 years. Somebody tried to argue with
Mhm.
me about this because she was like, "Oh, I saw somebody say it's 20 something years." And I was like, even if it was 20 something years, it still isn't a historical fiction. It is literally not even a historical fiction novel, even if you wanted it to be. There are like, it's not even the
Because
focal point. It's not even the
right, I was gonna
focal
say,
point.
what is the point of Dominion? The time
Like,
period is not the point.
the time period's not the point at all. We didn't even, honestly, I think to me, I didn't even realize it was 2000. Like, I think I realized it was like 1990 something later on in the book. The time period didn't even matter because we moving so fast through the story.
Right. I think somebody had a beeper, and that's what made me say,
I said a beeper. When
where we
did
get
you
one of them
get
from? I ever tell you about that time? This is
it?
I'm getting sleepy. Did I ever tell you about the time I went to a funeral and they had a beeper on that man's hip in that casket? And my
No,
godfather said,
no,
clear as
no.
day, loud too, who gonna page you? I had to share my piece.
We'll roll this down because it is getting kind of late for you. But in summary, y'all just remove your feelings from critique. It's really not that
Yeah, it's
deep. And
okay.
we want our writers to do better, especially we want our Black writers to do better. We want our Black writers to be taken seriously. We want our Black writers to be published in these streets. Critique them. Critique them regardless because I think people are scared that if they critique them that they will no longer see them, they will never get another publishing deal. Some of these authors get 2 or 3 book deals. You will be okay if you just correct this one and they go on to the next one to make it better. It will be even better for them. It's not that bad, guys. um don't be don't be scared. It's not going to hurt you. It's all in how you say it. That's it.
You gotta, they can't whoop you. You said you ain't like it. What they gonna do about it? They
Ban
gonna
you,
beat you up?
block you.
Right. They gonna block you, they gonna beat you up
They're not going to keep the same energy in person. Come on now.
at all.
This is the internet. Come on, you can't block
I'm
me. Come
saying. So I hope that we've given you some guidance or at least some things to think about in reference to critique and how you should be
on.
going
Hmm.
about that. And know that if you just don't want to critique a book, you don't have to. But it's also okay if you do.
It's okay, guys.
Okay. Last thing before we go, we talked about TV shows. Survivor's Remorse is on Netflix.
What's that?
It is a show that I believe LeBron James directed about a basketball player. Um,
LeBron James?
yeah, I think so.
Oh, I've never actually heard of this show. Is this old? Yeah,
What?
it's
It's
2014.
oh, it's so good.
Okay,
Tashina Arnold is in it.
I see. What's his name?
She just
From Tia and
passed.
Tamara, Erica
Oh
Ash,
yes.
yes, and then homie from Tia and Tamara. I can't remember his name. Damn, why is it
It's a
blinking?
very
Yeah.
yeah, it's a very good show. It's a very, very good show. I think
Okay.
you would like that. I think that's something that you and AJ would like.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think about critiquing books. Where do you stand?
Mm-hmm.
And we will see you next week. If you want to ask us any questions, reach out to us or whatever, all of our socials, email address, and all of that is down below in the description box. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else where podcasts are available, make sure you hit subscribe and you share it with your friends.
Please share with your
We,
friends.
right, we will see you and talk to you next week. Bye, friends.
Bye.